once was a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Down came a jumbuck to drink at the billabong. Up got the swaggy and grabbed him with glee, and he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Down came the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Up came the troopers, 1, 2, 3. Who's the jolly jumbuck you've got in your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Who's the jolly jumbuck you've got in your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. I've got the swaggy and jumped into the billabong. You'll never catch me alive, said he, and his ghost may be heard as you pass by that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And his ghost may be heard as you pass by that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me.
middle orange juice? Or are you happy with your puerile? Oh, I'm going to go to the remote. There we go. Hey, coffee champagne. Yes, please, dig in, yes.
Is swoop it off the ground just like that. That guy just came on down, threw out those talons, grabbed himself a meal, and he's actually feeding on the wing. But typically, if he would have just caught a reptile, he would have just gone and sat up on a tree and eaten that reptile. Now that swooping behavior is important for a couple reasons. If this guy landed, he'd be making himself vulnerable to predators such as dingoes or even cars. I've got another piece of food for this animal. Let's see if he can show us that behavior again. He's coming on in right here, and he's going to land cheeky. Black kite coming in trying to get that food. So he just landed feeling it. This guy's going to molt once a year for the next 3 years. When he's 5 years of age, he's going to have a pitch black breast and a pitch black crown on the top of his head. Enjoy watching this behavior. You're going to see this buzzard break into this egg here today. He's got his rock. Now he's a young bird, so might take him a bit of time here. He's going to try the other rock for better luck. There we go. Picking up those rocks and throwing them down on that egg, trying to break in and get the food. Now, you'll notice this bird keeps going back to those 2 rocks that I put down. That's because this animal has learned that those rocks are smooth and they're bigger than all these pebbles. So if this bird were to spend time picking up these little pebbles, he'd be here for a really long time. He's always going to go for the larger stones or rocks.
Right, did he do it?
Now it pays to keep trying because this has been a relatively easy meal for this animal. He hasn't had to hunt. All he's had to do is locate an egg. He's made a big crack in that egg, ripping it apart with those strong feet, pulling out the inside. Once this bird is eaten, he will not stick around for long, so get a very good look at a young black-crested buzzard right now. And as you can see, that food does not last long. It's worth looking up a photograph of an adult buzzard. And what you'll notice, again, in a few years, if this bird sticks around, he's going to have a pitch black breast and a pitch black.
Under a blue sky surrounded by oceans, where rain on the inland is gold. God bless our rivers, may we always catch fish in the creek. I promise to return all the love that you give to me. Hoist up the kangaroo, red ochre, uluru, golden wattle and blue gum green. Under a blue sky surrounded by oceans, where rain on the inland is gold. I believe in the ancient spirit of the great Southland.
Use your, let me use my, hurry up, he's getting impatient because I have no more food. Wait a minute, let me get some more.
Lele, kako me drži?
No.
Oh, there's another baby. Baby kangaroo.
Kaj pa tata malo pa še ne je?
Oh, there's a baby in the pouch.
Kje ka se te prime, veš kaj?
You're pretty close to some of these animals.
All those animals,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, working in a
Oh,
wildlife park.
yeah. Day in, day out, they look
Yeah.
at you and
Oh, yeah, we have
They
to
trust
do a lot of health checks and other such things.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys would like to see the devils, best way is down along this track here. We have got a keeper located in the third devil pit across. He's got some young 10-month-old Tasmanian devils.
No, they're not playful anymore when they're adults. When these ones are about another 2 months older, there'll be no more of this because they'll leave their mum at that age. But I can still pick Maggie up. That's no worries at all. But you know, different personalities. I can tell you already who's going to be an aggressive devil out of this bunch, and which one's going to. This one's going to be a real softie. She'll be fine to be handled her whole life. This is Chomper. This one here is going to be pretty good. This one here is going to be very, very cheeky. He'll just nip whenever he gets a chance, and this one's going to be...
You know, including at night, so it's just like having a furry baby, really.
So how old was she when you got her?
She was about 6 months old, so she was no bigger than sort of a kitten size with very, very fine fur, and they rely on their pouch to keep them warm and basically to make sure they survive at that age. So you have to kind of have a makeshift pouch as well, so you have sort of all these
That's
people.
why they like cuddling to be cuddled
Yeah,
by
yeah.
you.
And even when they're young, like she's much too big now, but when she's relaxed and when she's chilled out, her lips will move like she's suckling on mum's teeth when she was in the pouch when she was only very young. So they revert back to that comfort stage, even when they're a bit older like her. So.
At what age does the parent move them out, though, that they
2
don't
years.
2 years,
Yeah.
and then they
What they
ignore them?
do is their gestation period. So from conception to birth for these guys is about 35 days, which is only very small. Give birth to that tiny little jelly bean that crawls into its mum's pouch. It stays in its mum's pouch for about 8 to 9 months, and that's not even coming out of the pouch at all. And then after that, it'll come in and out of the pouch and start to eat grass. And if you've ever seen a fully grown female wombat eating grass with her head down this end, and because the pouch is towards the back legs, the little Joey will be eating grass, sticking her head out the other end. So you've got a double-headed wombat eating grass and the little Joey sticking its head out. So they're really, really special to see when they're that age. But yeah, mum will keep them with her, either in her pouch or by her side, for 2 years. And then it's like having a teenage wombat. They just turn and say, look, I know everything. I'm moving out. I'm going to dig my own burrow and you can't stop me. And that's when mum lets them go. So that's what we do as well. We'll let them go when they get to that stage and put them out into the bush as close to where they were found as possible. And yeah, next time you come to Tassie, she'll be out there hopefully with some Joeys of her own. And it's good because we're completing that cycle of that initial sad situation when her mum was hit by a car.
Yeah.
We've given her a chance to grow up, become mature, and then she can go out into the wild and live her own life. So,
How long do they live naturally?
well, they're actually the oldest living of all of the marsupials. She can live to up to about 26 years in the wild, which is very old, and it's because of those teeth that we looked at. Did you see her yawning before?
Yeah.
So she's got 2 top and 2 bottom teeth, and they grow constantly, and because they, you know, they grind away, she can just keep growing teeth, just like our fingernails. So she can live for a lot longer than, say, a koala or a kangaroo that only gets 1 set throughout their life. So once they've gone, then that's pretty much it for them. So she's a sook, though. You can give her a pat on the back if you want to feel how soft she is.
Would this make a good house pet?
Awful, awful. If you want your house to look completely different, you know, a few renovations like some gnawing on your coffee table.
Little pellets all over.
Pellets, yes. Decoration. They can actually chew through wooden doors and things like that as well. They're very stubborn animals, so if they don't want to do something, you can't make them do it. So if you put them in your laundry and close the door, they can quite easily chew a little wombat-sized hole through.
So that answers my question.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want a few renovations done, or you want your house from being upright to sort of leaning this way, then definitely get a wombat.
Tele je krasno. Tale. Prav velečastno drevo.
Up the hill to the line, and then up and they are much harder to shear, and because they have to be shorn, and Andrew's such a nice bloke, he's decided that he will shear them, happy to shear them in front. So you can see how much longer this one is.
What we call rubbish wool off, and yeah, it's a lot harder to get off and they've got a lot of wool on them like that.
The more people might come around this side, you will. Now this part that Andrew's about to do is the hardest part of shearing it. It's getting up the neck, so you've got to stretch the neck out. Like my neck is pretty wrinkly, and you've got to stretch it out so you can get an edge. And because it's double fleece, it's very hard to do. So there he is. Fleece is quickly rolled up into a ball on the table like this and presented to the classer in a classer's table, which is usually just off the table, because the next fleece has to come through in that process. So the first thing they do is they the classer will just grab a piece of wool and they'll pull it like this. Now if it comes apart, and this one's another tender one, some of these double fleece have been tender, he's going to downgrade this fleece in value significantly. If it had held together when I did that, it would have been much more valuable fleece, but because it's tender, it's downgraded. So I'm not very happy.
She's my mother, she's my auntie, she's many that I've known, the backbone of the bush where country kids have grown. She's raised and she's nurtured those children of her own, while her man does his battles on the land. And he comes in from the shearing, still aching in the back. The kids are finally tucked away, her days are never slack. But she makes it look so easy as she cooks him up a storm, that unselfish, unsung hero of the land. She's keeping books, she's nursing, raising money for the town. She's the last one standing when all is falling down, ferocious as a tiger to defend her little clan. My hero, the woman on the land. So I propose a toast to the mothers that we know, proud to be the better half who really run the show. And if you shed a tear, boys, I will understand, to our hero, the woman on the land. And he comes in from the harvest, a disappointing yield. He's tired and he's dusty, 12 hours in the field. And although her day's been difficult, she greets him with a smile, that unselfish, unsung hero of the land. So I propose a toast to the mothers that we know, proud to be the better half who really run the show. And if you shed a tear, boys, I will understand, to our hero, the woman on the land.
heartland of Dunedin. So in New Zealand currently we're about 4.2 million people, about 43 million sheep, 20 million beef and dairy cattle, round about 4 million red deer on our farms. And all you Australians, please note we have 70 million possums here. If you'd like to take some possums home with you, you're most welcome. So very soon we're going to move away from civilisation and heading towards the Kairu Gorge.
A city girl is happy with her friends and family life, appreciates a wine with him at night. She tries to find the sparkle, she searches but it's gone. With lots of love she hopes he'll be alright. Her man has gone all quiet, he's not at ease. He doesn't feel at home, he's hard to please. He gets itchy feet, he's tired of noises in the street. He needs to walk for hours through the trees. Now a bushman can't survive on city lights, opera, rock and roll and height of heights. His moon shines on the silver brigalow, shimmers down the inland river flow, out there where the yellow belly bites. He's working with his hands today on a building site. He can smell the cypress on the floor. It takes him to a sandy ridge. Thank you.
There's probably only one piece each, so once you've had your turn, you're quite welcome to keep an eye on them and enjoy the experience. Please make sure that everybody gets excited all right walking up here. How about you?
So that means that they're cold-blooded, so they need the sun to warm up their blood enough to become active and hunt. These guys are actually mainly active at night, so they'll come out during the day and sit in the sun and they'll warm up their blood, and at night that's when they come out and they do all their hunting. So they'll hunt things like small birds and mice and a lot of insects. These guys live in burrows under the ground and they dig these themselves. They've got really nice claws to do that with, they're actually quite sharp, and they actually often share these burrows with seabirds. Unfortunately for the birds, the price of this accommodation is a couple of eggs or chicks every so often, so that's what they pay in rent. So these guys have been in New Zealand for millions of years, we think around 15 million years, and on Earth for about 200 million years. So these guys have been around for a very long time.
How do you pronounce their name?
Tuatara. And they haven't actually changed at all in that time. So what you see here is what was running around when the dinosaurs were around. And we often actually call them living fossils because of that reason.
They were always that small?
This one is only 10, so she will grow quite a lot bigger. Probably get to about that size. There's actually one behind you who's almost fully grown, so yeah. You have a look at him after, you'll get an idea of how big they could get. They don't stop growing until they're around 35 years of age. And these guys actually live till they're at least 100. We think it's more like 120 or 150. There's actually one in Invercargill down south in captivity called Henry, and he's at least 120, but we haven't been studying them long enough to really know for sure. So in a few more years we'll know just how long they can live.
People keep dying before they get the records finished.
Yeah. So we just have to wait a little bit longer. So these guys are really interesting animals. They are not lizards. They're a completely separate group all by themselves. And they have a few different interesting features. One of them is a third eye, which is on the top of their head. It's most evident in animals up to about 6 months of age, and it's visible. It's used as a light sensor, so it covers over the scales after about 6 months of age. We think it's probably used as a way for them to sense light to get out of the burrow, out of the egg, so to know which way is up. And once they don't need it anymore, it covers over with scales. Another interesting feature is their teeth. I did say that they can bite, and their teeth are really, really interesting. They don't have roots like our teeth do, but they're very sharp extensions of the jawbone that come through the skin. And they're in a double row on top, sorry, I'm getting a bit confused, a double row on top and a single row on the bottom. So they fit together really nicely. And unfortunately, because they are reptiles, they do move quite slowly when they want to, and they don't actually let go in a hurry. And I heard about a man who had a tuatara run up his trouser leg, and he put his hand down his pants to pull it out, and it clamped onto his finger, and it didn't let go for around 45 minutes. So that could be how long you're waiting if one of these grabs onto you.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the population of Mount Maunganui is 14,000. Now, like I said before, that population during the summertime could go up to anywhere near 65,000. This is where most of the young people come up, ladies and gentlemen, either to surf, and the nightlife is quite good too. More beautiful homes on the right hand side, beautiful homes with beautiful views. Our avocados.
And here he is, little Sean, 14 million sheep tracking done, 50,000 are still coloured. The reason we keep them is for wool. We use it for natural gardens. Read your contract. Now, on behalf of everyone in Emma,
Young boy used to climb these trees, and Mrs. Plunkett, that used to live in this house here, used to come out with a big stick, whack the hell out of my legs, saying that I was going to kill her tree. I lived in this house with the red roof just over there, and I went to England in the 70s. When I come back in the mid-70s, I was given the opportunity to buy that house for $38,000.